Hey everybody, it's Faye here. Happy Monday. As you can tell, we have an amazing, gorgeous sunny day here in Scotland, which is, as always, a complete blessing. So I really hope that you've got some lovely weather where you are and that you are able to find some space to poke your head outside the window and feel the rays of sun or that lovely weather on your skin and allow it to soak in. So I'm popping on today to talk about heart space, and I talk about this a lot in my book, Plants That Speak, Souls That Sing, because heart space is the space that we need to be in, really, to connect with plants. It's where we find that the language of nature that speaks to us and through us. So, and it helps really to consider it like if we think about the opposite of heart space, which is where we are most of the time, which is actually the head space. So if we think about head space, is very much the thinking part, the part that says, oh, I need to do this, this, it's very logical, it's a very planned place to be. It's the space really that if you know about plants, you'll be like, oh right, I need to go and collect some calendula because I'm making a salve, and that's really good for the skin. So it's a very thought-driven space to be in. But when we really want to connect with the language of plants, we need to sink into this heart space, the space that feels its way rather than thinks its way. And this is where we will start to sense into the vibration of plants and really get a sense of how they are communicating to us. And if we're too much, you'll know if you've tried to meditate before, if you are too much in your headspace, you are in that monkey mind. It will pop in and it will be chitter-chattering away with all the things you've got to do, all the stuff that's worrying you or bothering you or making you angry and frustrating you and things like that. And you won't really get into the feeling space. And a lot of the time we think, oh yeah, I'm going out for a walk in nature. Oh yeah, I'm going to connect. But actually what happens is we might, if we manage to put our mobile devices in our pockets away, that's one thing, but they will make a notification, we'll get distracted, we'll get them out, we'll start flicking through. We might even put music on to distract us. And a lot of the time, even if we haven't got the music or we haven't got the device with us, we'll actually be walking along and our mind will just be going over the things which have been happening in our day or things which we've got to do or stuff which is on our mind. So actually we're not really feeling our way and connecting with nature at all. We're still kind of in the monkey mind headspace. So it can take a while actually for us to really calm down and sink into the feeling space, the space where we become aware of how we're feeling and then pick up on the communication that's outside of us. So I'm just going to give you a few tips, and you'll know if you've tried to meditate, it's very hard to just go, right, oh quick, 30 minutes, I've got 30 minutes or even 15 minutes, quick, I'm going to meditate. We'll rush, we'll sit down, start breathing, start relaxing, and the mind hasn't really had time to land and stop the busyness of its day, and it'll still be going 100 miles an hour while you are like, no, I'm sitting here, I'm trying to meditate. And this is what happens when we go outside and want to connect with plants. We want to get into the heart space, we want to feel our way, we have every intention of doing so, and yet the mind will go all over the place. And so one of the things I like to do, so it can help actually to listen to a piece of music, it can help to relax, take 10 breaths before you step outside to try and disconnect from all that distractions that feeds that monkey mind. What I like to do is I like to walk with my hand on my heart. I like to have an intention to connect with the plants. And also what I find really helps to make me get into my body rather than into my head is either to move, to sing, to hum a tune, and to just kind of allow a kind of magical process to occur that takes me out of where I might be otherwise. Because sometimes, I can be walking along with my dog and my mind is thinking about all the emails I've got to do, all the stuff I want to promote, and worrying about this, that and the other. And my dog is actually completely aware that I'm in that headspace, not in this kind of sensing, feeling space. So it's really interesting how that vibration that we have can be sensed by our animal friends, and as it is sensed by obviously our plant friends too. But to get into this, so it's really about you finding the way for you to access this heart space. And this is why I always recommend a daily meditation practice, so that you can be in the habit of connecting with what is going on with your heart. How are you feeling today? Because it's so easy for us to brush this aside and crack on. And I think this is what's happening a little bit with many of us, being stuck in isolation, not being able to go out and have the busyness of our lives that we all have. Now what's happening is we're all stuck in these four walls, kind of with our shit going around, and we're bumping into it the whole time. And we're realizing, and I practice Reiki every day, I meditate, I connect with plants. You might call me, oh, Faye has a spiritual practice. I do, but I still have all that shit that actually, when I'm really busy, I push it away because I haven't got time to really look at it. I haven't got really time to look at how I'm feeling about things, because actually I'm busy answering the next email, doing the next training, booking my next event, feeding the family and all that sort of thing. So it's very challenging to be honest and have that authenticity, to connect in with your heart and what's going on with you. But this is really the space that we need to be in if we want to start to have A, authentic relationships with ourselves, B, authentic relationships with other people, and C, the authentic connections which we are hoping for from the natural environment when we reach out and connect with the plants. Oh, hi, Alison. Hi, thank you for saying hi. Nice to see you. So the heart space is the space to be in if we're wanting to reach out and make these meaningful connections, not just with ourselves and other people, but also with the natural environment. And it starts, yes, regular meditation practice. You can do that through breath work. You can do that through lots of apps. I do it with my Reiki practice because then I kind of get the healing from that, as well as the meditation. But when you're out in nature, and you want to connect, you want to tune in with the trees, the plants, the leaves, the flowers, even just lying down on the grass. It helps me to put my hand on my heart, because I know that I'm connecting in with my body, and I'm trying to ignore, we can't turn off the mind, but we want to just ignore what that mind is telling us to do right now. And the idea is to feel your way in nature. So we can do this by going out in nature and feeling your way. So rather than thinking, oh, I think I need to go this way, we're just feeling and sensing into the environment around you and feeling where do I feel like going? Which plants feel open to me? What does it feel like here? And asking yourself, because we don't always feel comfortable in parts of nature. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes we feel awkward. Sometimes we feel different physical sensations. Obviously, we can feel cold. We can feel hot. We can feel lonely. We can feel threatened sometimes. So we're not always going out into nature thinking, oh, this is going to be lovely. I'm going to feel amazing. This is super amazing. So just be aware of that. Different places have different vibrations. Different plants are open to different experiences for you, because the natural world was going to mirror what is going on inside of you. Okay, but the first place to start, and this is why I think there's a whole chapter of it in my book, is heart space. Okay, and to start, even before you get out in nature, to start to connect with heart space is the beginning of having this authentic relationship with yourself. So you can begin, even if you don't have a meditation practice, you can begin and you can ask yourself each morning, how am I feeling today? Just even that one question can set you onto having a more authentic relationship with yourself and others, and to start opening the doorway into your life to gradual shifts. Because if you're constantly not feeling right, if you're constantly feeling off-centered, uncomfortable, etc., then once you're aware, you can start to shift and do something else about it. So for those of you who've popped on just now, who I can see watching, I'm talking about heart space, because heart space is this language. It's where we connect with plants. It's the language of the natural world, okay? And obviously, I can talk again another time about the different ways that plants will communicate to us and how we can receive those. But the key really is by connecting through your heart rather than thinking your way through. And obviously this is very counter everything we're taught. You know, even when people are taught about garden design, or we're taught herbal medicines, medicinal plants and so on, we're taught, you know, about the physiology of the plant, we're taught to think about plants, we're taught about to identify them in a certain way. So we're always thinking, and garden designers and horticulturists are taught about the qualities of a plant and what soil a plant likes, what growing conditions it needs. So we're always thinking and analysing and calculating. But when we want to connect with plants, when we want to reach out to the natural world and really connect with that plant medicine, we need to be feeling our way, because it's all about how does this plant, how am I feeling in my body, how am I feeling emotionally, how am I feeling intellectually, how am I feeling spiritually, am I feeling connected, disconnected, wobbly, what is going on with me today? And asking yourself those same questions when you're out in nature. How does the plant make me feel? How does it feel to simply sit and be with this being? Because our heart has an electromagnetic field, and so too plants also have a field, an energy field around them, and it's this field that we are tapping into when we want to connect with them. And it's our heart field, this sense, this bigness around me, that a plant will connect to. And if you are in your headspace, if you're thinking, analysing anxiously, tuning into this logical brain, you are going to miss those nuances that we pick up when we are feeling our way with our hearts. And I was saying earlier, and I'll say it again, when I'm out in nature, it really helps me to put my hand on my heart, to kind of have it in my intention to connect. You know, if I want to go out into nature and think about something I've got to do, a project, then that's a different activity. That's me thinking about something. But if I want to go out and I want to connect with nature because I need to shift something, because I want to reach out, because I've got an intention to connect with plant medicine, then I want to be in this heart space. And it really helps for me. I mean, I guess my book is called Plants That Speak, Souls That Sing, and that gives you a clue. I sing a lot, I hum a lot, and I dance with nature. And that is my way of connecting into heart space, so I know that I am not in my mind, I am in my body and I'm in my feelings. And that is my way of allowing plant medicine to touch me and move through me. So you can see Alison saying that she's loving spending time in her garden right now, and that is brilliant. And for all of you watching who have a garden, that is just, we are so lucky and we are so blessed that we are able to do this. But for those of you who don't have a garden, you can still connect with nature. Just stepping outside, even if you've had to drive in your car or go on a bus to get somewhere, to get to the supermarket. You know, we're not allowed to go anywhere at the moment, are we? But if you see trees, if you see plants that are growing, even just connecting with the sun, like the rays of the sun today, the natural world always has messages for us. It's always communicating in some way. And because we spend most of the time in this thinking space and worrying and stressing and calculating and thinking things through very logically, we miss that nuance that comes when we are tuning into energy and really feeling our way. So that's the key here, is to feel your way through this heart space rather than be thinking your way through the head space. And I think that's probably key for lots of things, but I'm using it today in relationship to connecting with the natural world. And that's the first thing to do, really, is if you want to reach out and connect, feel your way. It's even the same for selecting, like, you know, if you want to work with flower essences, or if you may be tuning into crystals, or different sort of herbal tinctures and balms and oils and things, like with essential oils. Yes, we can learn about the physical properties of things. We can read, oh, I wonder what this is going to do for me if I take hawthorn flower essence. But the number one thing to do before we get into the headspace that analyzes and thinks and makes associations, what we want to be doing is feeling our way and asking ourselves, what do I feel drawn to? How do I feel when I'm holding this hawthorn essence in my hand, for example? How do I feel when I'm holding frankincense essential oil in my hand, as opposed to when I smell the orange or the bergamot? And you're asking yourself, how do I want to feel? And you're navigating your way by choosing the feelings that you want to be drawn to and the way that feels in your body and in your being. And then obviously we can dive in and we can be like, wow, you know what, I was really drawn, for example, to spend some time with this big oak tree today, and I felt this way, I felt this way, I felt this way. And then we can go back and we can analyze, we can look it up, we can Google it, we can see what other people think about particular plants and what other people's experiences have been. But the first thing is, and the most important authority is you and how you feel and how you sense into plants and places and people and nature through this heart space, okay? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go off and enjoy my garden now through my heart space. It's been really lovely to connect with you, and I can see some of you watching, so thank you very much. And take care. Yeah, tune in and let me know. And Alison, I can see you were listening, and there you've been tuning in with your garden. So yeah, let me know how that feels to tune into your garden. And just ask yourself this one thing: how do I feel? How do I feel in my garden today? And if you're, somewhere else in a local park or on your way to the supermarket, you can ask yourself, how do I feel out here in nature? And that's just the first step really to connecting to the natural world and sensing into all of these messages which these beautiful beings have for us. So take care, everybody. Happy Monday. Bye.